Hello and welcome to your reading. My name's Rowan. If you are new here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you guys so much for always liking, sharing, and leaving comments. I love seeing what you guys have to say. I love hearing about how things land for you. And I especially love when you guys tell me about your pets, because pets come up a lot in my readings. Alright, let's get in and see what Spirit has to say today. Spirit, please provide only the clearest, purest, most helpful guidance for the collective at this time. Alright, they're showing me bricks or building blocks. What are the bricks or building blocks about? Somebody wants to build a more stable foundation after recovering from some difficult stuff. I'm not going to say that word because they'll probably shadow ban me more. After going through some really tough stuff, you've had to form new boundaries with people from your past, especially family members. And I feel that a lot of you are starting over, literally starting over, and reconnecting to the earth grid. Spirit wants to remind you that you are a magnet for good things. I feel like this group has a tendency to tell themselves that you're like a magnet for abusers or freaks or something like that. And honestly, like, that's not how it works. I do feel like you have some people that are really fixated on you from your past, but it's not like that's something that you brought on yourself. I'm really not about victim blaming, and I feel like that's such a thing in the spiritual community. Don't get me started, y'all. Now, I'm being told that it's important for you to create a cozy home environment for your healing. Some of you really want to travel. You've been saving or planning for travel. And I'm getting that you are actually going to meet people that you have a lot more in common with when you do. There's soulmates that are abroad for you guys. For some of you, it's in another state. If you're in a place with multiple states. Some of you, this is in another country, a different part of the world. For some of you, somebody that's important to you may live in a place with a jungle. Yeah, literally. I split the deck and it says from another country. I have Elder in reverse. Okay, sorry about that, guys. My neighbors have some really squeaky dogs right now. I don't know. So if you hear all the squeaking in the background, it's my neighbor's dogs. I don't really know. Alright, you are being encouraged that it is a good thing to make a move. There's something that you need to dissolve in your current life or current setup first that's going to help you make this move. To go and like meet up with this soul tribe group. I feel like these are other light workers and other artists. You might have felt like you were kind of sleepwalking through your current life at this time. You might have a job you really don't like. I feel like you've dealt with a lot of narcissistic people. That keeps coming up here, and it's been very exhausting for you. You are healing your heart at this time, and you are going to be able to come back from all the things that have happened to you. I'm hearing within just a couple months from the time you're watching this. Now, keep in mind, these are collective readings. I'm reading for a ton of people right now. Let's see here. Just take what resonates, guys. For some of you, finances are a big concern. Be patient. You are working on this, I'm seeing. And I feel like you are going to get, not a windfall. I don't like when people say you're going to get a windfall of money, but I feel like there's something that's going to be mailed to you that says something was overpaid in the past, or like you're owed money in some way, and it's going to help you to start over. Some of you might want to look at your, if you have credit reports where you live, you might want to look at your credit report. I feel like there's something that you missed that you're supposed to look at here. And Spirit might have been trying to get your attention about it with clairvoyance. You might have had a dream about either being able to travel, like being in the new place and having a peek at this new timeline, or seeing like documents or having to file stuff in your dream. You have had a lot of people sabotage you in the past. I just saw, yeah, especially in love. I have sabotage and love coming out just as I'm shuffling here. And I feel like this is kind of in the backdrop of your energy. You know, as you're trying to create new things, it's like these worries about sabotage or betrayal pop into your mind very frequently. And Spirit is saying this is something that they want to help with. There's a being of light that's here. I feel like they're an angel. They're connected to the color orange because they're working on, or they have the potential to work on your sacral chakra, which really connects to your creativity, self-esteem, expression, intimacy, inner power. This was heavily damaged for you during your dark night of the soul, which I feel like you've had 2 really big ones. This group has been fucking through it, bro. And you're going to meet people who completely understand this, that we're on almost mirroring journeys. And you're going to be able to talk about it. Some of you might be air signs, or it could just be about talking, right? I did say windfall earlier, so that's a confirmation for somebody. You're going to have people you can trust that come in. And I feel like these people are going to... It's like your body will immediately know that they have a good aura. That's the big thing for you guys, is like, your trust has always been logical because that's how you were taught as a child. You would have to override the distrust you felt in your body for people and situations that you were unfortunately exposed to. Now that you are older, it's time to not be so logical about that stuff. I mean, obviously it has its place, but the body knows a lot of times whenever people are making you uncomfortable, or when you first meet somebody, you just get like an ick feeling. That's a very primal instinct when somebody is dangerous, right? You're going to have a lot more fun, a lot more like funny people around you with good inside jokes. And there's something here about like a narcissistic family that had like a lot of sarcasm and just like kind of cruelty in their joking. And I feel like this made you have a really dry sense of humor, or like not be as comical in the way that you approach things outwardly. And you're going to be able to get back to this part of you that's like really silly and almost like slapstick in a way that doesn't demean or harm other people. It's like a very pure childlike energy. I feel like you have a different sense of humor than a lot of people in your family. And I'm seeing somebody like at a family gathering, and somebody's making a joke that you just don't think is funny. And it's like, it's just not really like having to feign laughter almost. Yeah, you're going to have people with a telepathic connection with you that come in. Now be careful with this. Again, Spirit is saying it's incredibly important to trust your body about this, because there are people in your past that you've had this with, but it's because they were using their gifts for negative purposes, right? Gonna have more aligned partnerships. This keeps coming out. I know I'm kind of like repeating myself, so let's move it on. Spirit, can you give me some more information here? There's something about a stray dog here. You might encounter some of these people through like going out with your dog that was a stray at some point. For somebody here, you might find a stray dog that like connects you with somebody else in some way. Like be driving and see it on the side of the road and somebody else pulls over. There's something here about like a stray dog being relevant for someone. Obviously not for everybody. Take what resonates. Yeah, this will spark some sort of conversation with an important person that has a good heart. Yeah, unwavering devotion. This is a loyal person, which is something that you might feel confused by. I feel like you haven't had a lot of loyal people. You've had like a friend or a lover in the past that like something, like it's almost like they got pushed out by these negative people. It's really sad. This might be something that you're still healing. Things are always going right for me. You guys are working on your inner talk, your inner self-talk. I'm seeing somebody looking in the mirror and doing mirror work with themselves, like repeating kind things to themselves as they look in the mirror. Working through that betrayal. Oh my goodness, the amount of betrayal and narcissistic related stuff coming out of these decks. I didn't know I had so many cards for it. Poor people. I understand completely. Those of us who have been through many, many lifetimes, who come to Earth to help heal the collective, we often go through it a lot differently and a lot more than other people. We technically have the most karma to work out. So you might have met a lot of people from past lives that like had it out for you, and you're like, bro, I didn't do anything. And sometimes it is because of past life stuff, but it doesn't matter, because Again, like, just to talk about victim blaming here, this is where I think a lot of spiritual practitioners get it wrong. I hear people say, like, oh, you have to make up for your negative karma in this lifetime. It doesn't work that way. Like, you can meet people that you had negative karma with, and everybody can address it in a good way, and there can be a very trusting, loving relationship that can be established if both parties are healed. The problem is a lot of people come in and they just give in to that. You know, a lot of times, like, our extremely loyal and beautiful connections that we have in life are from people who maybe didn't do us right in the past lifetime, but they're making up for it now by being as good as they can to us. Okay, you might be confused here about how to have hope for new potential. Okay, and with hope it says where there's light, there is hope. I feel like because of all the dark and difficult things you've gone through, it's almost like confusing to you to stay in a more like hopeful, positive, optimistic vibration because of all the deceptions that you've faced. It's hard to feel inspired when you're worried that people are constantly, you know, prospecting for like the next thing they can get out of you. It's kind of a disgusting energy to have to deal with, right? So let's talk about it. You are on the upswing right now. I feel you in a very protective energy. You might even be confronting people that have harmed you, because it says collision, collide with new sparks, don't be afraid of arguments. I feel like this group is not afraid of arguments. I feel like you've been up against people who are a lot more powerful than you in the physical, but in spirit, you're an incredibly strong person. You break obstacles. Nothing can block your light. The deaths that you've overcome within yourself were a part of your spiritual awakening and a part of strengthening you to inspire and lead others in the future. For a lot of you, the inspiration that you're bringing to other people is going to be through you living your most free and best life, safeguarding that. And then, like, with Erupt, it's like all of this freedom and joy that comes out of you just from living the life that you want helps other people feel inspired and see that it can happen. You might even have met somebody or will meet somebody that does this for you. Like, you meet them and you just feel incredibly inspired by their journey. And you're like, okay, if they can do it, I can do it, kind of thing. Some of you might be looking on social media and have an account that you really like, and it's somebody that has that sort of effect. So it might be a more parasocial thing where you don't actually know this person, but you can feel their energy and you're like, wow, you know, they're really making it. They're doing what they want to do, and I love to watch. I love to see this. There's nothing wrong with that. Sorry guys, I'm pausing the video intermittently because these squeaky dogs are going off outside. Alright, we do have power and ending. Power, believe that you are greater than any obstacle. This is what you are to focus on at this time. All of these cards have images of the galaxy, so there might be something here for you guys about connecting with beings of light, you know, star beings, things like this. We also have mountains coming up here. Try to climb over this mountain. So I feel like mountains and star beings, like mountain spirits and star beings, are going to be really important for you guys because they're going to help you. Oh my god. So I feel like these mountain beings and star beings are going to help you eclipse out previous energy or that feeling of hopelessness and have courage to move forward. It says, move forward bravely, the cliff of the universe. For some of you, the Lyran star beings are very relevant. Some of you have a connection to panthers, big cats, lions, tigers, jaguars. Especially black panthers are very relevant here. Observation, you might have dreams about black panthers. I actually have a video about Black Panther energy and how it affects your life if you want to look back at that, or if that's of importance to you. I think that could help some of you here to have more forgiveness for yourself, because sometimes Black Panther energies and people who carry that medicine live very difficult lives at the beginning before you kind of realize the pattern. It's very difficult. It's not literally, it's not a cute energy. It's a very intense energy, but it's powerful. It's very protective once you can get in the swing of it. You're going to have people around you who talk kindly and defend you behind your back. And Spirit wants you to know that whenever you do encounter this, because some of you are already meeting people or like experiencing this now, when you experience this, you might feel guilty at first because you haven't had people do this for you in the past. It might bring up a lot of negative feelings for you or a lot of difficult emotions. Just know that these bubble up to the surface just to be noticed so that you feel what you've gone through because you had to stuff it for so long. This is not an indication that these people are bad, okay? We do have love coming up here. These are good people. I do feel like you guys have good people coming in. For some of you, they're already here, and, you know, take it as it resonates. You will know that deep down in your bones, I'm hearing, if you are of that group. I'm seeing a ship, like an old-timey ship with the sails up. I'm getting that you are now entering a time of your life that you will not be leaving. This is like a permanent change where you control where you're sailing. Before, it's like you were kind of at the mercy of the elements, and now it's like you're taking control of the helm. I'm actually seeing a ship being attacked by like a leviathan or like a giant squid or something. And I'm getting this feeling of just constant worry that you'll be capsized, right? And you might have an unrealistic view of your life, I'm hearing. You might think that things are really perfect, or they're supposed to be perfect if you are a good person. So really examine that, because some of you actually have some trauma from the way you were raised. This can especially happen in a lot of religious upbringings, not all of them. But a lot of them can attribute things that happen to you to your virtue, okay? And that's very dangerous because, again, we can get into, like, victim blaming here, where if somebody is a true victim of a crime or just a random negative experience, it becomes, okay, well, this means X, Y, and Z about you. This now means that you are tainted or that you're not in God's favor, or however you want to think of it, and that's just simply not how it works. Spirit is saying, please re-examine this. You know, look at nature for your inspiration. I always say this. Nature is not perfect. Nothing about nature is perfect. If you look at some of the oldest trees in the forest, they're really jacked up looking. Like, most of them are not aesthetic or cute. They're gnarled, they're bent, they're all twisted, they're screwed up. They might have like 15 offshoots because they're just trying to anchor themselves. But they're usually the most beautiful, wisest beings in the forest. You know, examine how you actually feel about the things that happen to you. What would you say if somebody else came to you and told you a story exactly like yours, and you were in the observer position? Most likely you would not be as cruel to that person as you've been to yourself about it, because you have a very perfectionist version of how life should be in your mind. And, like, that's okay. I think everybody goes through that to a degree. It was raised with certain beliefs. I have the manatee energy coming up here. You might want to watch videos of manatees online or look at pictures of them. They're extremely gentle and sweet, and this is going to be the kind of softness that you're moving into. It's a really beautiful and empowered energy. Just look up videos of people meeting manatees and how they react to divers and stuff, because that natural, almost childlike curiosity is exactly what you are going to be embodying. You're going to have conscious connections. Can't make it up. Alright, that's what I have for you guys. I'm sending you lots of love at this time. If you would like a personal reading that's much more specific than this, just for you, I do those through my website, Elderbeingsintuition.com. You can only book through my website, okay? So be aware that there are impersonators that pretend to be me to scam people, and, you know, just make sure you're only using the links I have listed below. I also do animal communication readings. So, You can reach out through email if you have any questions about anything in regards to my services. And that's what I have for you guys. So let me know how this resonated for you. I'm sending you guys so much love, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.